Hello everyone, good morning, welcome back. This is Divya Kamatra, your educator, and today we are meeting in the latest update series to discuss regarding Indian citizenship for PoK. That's right, we are going to talk about whether the citizens of PoK are directly considered Indian citizens or do they have to go through some other aspects, because India legally recognizes PoK as a part of India itself. So what is the criteria for citizenship there? And how does it work out? And if it is not a direct citizenship, then what is the process to actually gain that citizenship? All right, let's understand all that aspect one by one through this session. All right, stay tuned till the end to understand the entire concept. And regarding this, because India regards PoK as its own territory, Government of India has officially seen that the people living in this area, living in their PoK as Indian nationals, irrespective of their religion, are considered Indians, right? So Indian courts, including notable Jammu and Kashmir court ruling, they have clarified that individuals originating from PoK cannot be classified or prosecuted as foreigners under the Foreigners Act 1946. Why? Because PoK is not legally a part of Pakistan. It is something they have occupied and it is something of a disputed region, but not officially a part of Pakistan. That's why they won't be able to claim it there. So now, because India lacks any physical or administrative jurisdiction over PoK, residents living there cannot access constitutional protections, cast votes in Indian elections, or get Indian passports unless they cross the Indian territory through legal channels. So this is creating a problem that you say we have citizenship, but then at the same time, if there are people living there, they are not able to access to any of the constitutional protections, voting rights, or anything until and unless they legally cross that border, right? So even if it is ours, but we still lack jurisdiction, and that is creating problem for many people, right? For them to address to the citizenship and how to come to become a part of it, that is something we have to understand right now. All right? Okay. So first of all, let's understand the constitutional status of PoK, like what is going on there and what is the current status of it. All right. We know that Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh have become UTs, yes. But at the same time, is there any change in the PoK, or what is the status here? So under the Constitution of India, Article 1 that we see, as well as Schedule 1 and Jammu Kashmir State Constitution, earlier that was there, not now, earlier that was there, everything said that entire region of Jammu Kashmir, including PoK, is integral part of India, right? Including the Jammu Kashmir Constitution that establishes such prosecutions, they have also stated, and Indian Constitution and Article 1, Schedule 1, everything clearly states that PoK is an integral part of India. Very simple to that. Now, recently you must have seen a video emerging where there was an international conference going on, and in that conference a map was presented in which the part was not shown as India's, right? The part was not shown as India's, as you can see in the map, and that's why an Indian delegate started asking questions regarding why have you done that, and the map is wrong and you should not be representing this. The authorities just said that, okay, this is just for representation, that's fine, right? But at the same time, our delegates consistently pressurized on one fact, that it is an integral part of India and you have to show it in India. This map is wrong. We constantly kept saying that. Why? Because it is an integral part of India. Every single aspect clarifies that, right? And if it is an integral part of India, aren't people living there also integral part of India? Aren't they? They should be, right? But there's a twist. There's a twist. Let's understand that twist. So under de jure citizenship, because India considers PoK to be Indian territory, under foreign occupation, individuals born in PoK are legally viewed as citizens of India by law. In the de jure manner, they are Indian citizens, but rather than foreign nationals or illegal immigrants. In the de jure manner, not de facto, please pay attention to that. In the de jure manner, they do have the citizenship, and everybody living there is considered Indian national rather than an illegal migrant. But let's come to that. what is happening? The legal status of the PoK refugees, what is there? Over the decades, 1947, 65, 71, thousands of families were displaced from PoK into Jammu and Kashmir and other parts of India. They were displaced from here. What is their status now and what rights do they get? Unlike West Pakistan refugees who migrated from areas outside of Jammu and Kashmir and faced long-standing restrictions on local voting, property rights, etc., the PoK displaced persons are treated as original residents or state subjects of J&K. There is a difference. If somebody similarly is coming from Western Pakistan, they will face restrictions, but similarly, a person coming from PoK will not face that and they will directly be considered a state subject and original resident, right? In terms of electoral representation also, out of the 111 seats, 24 seats are reserved for the territory under Pakistani occupation and remain vacant because we are trying to make them a part of it and we are trying to get their representation. The seat numbers can keep changing. Don't worry about that. The fact is that the political representation has been provided because we consider it as an integral part of India. Focus on that point. All right. The seats and all that can change. Just don't worry about that. Now, claiming citizenship and rights and practice, how do they do that? Like, this is regarding law. This is regarding a written statement. You've said that this is done. But in practicality, how is it possible? Let's find that out. All right. So first of all, providing Indian origin or domicile, anybody residing in PoK or refugees from PoK who have moved in the Indian administered territory, the part that India administers, if they have moved into the Indian administered territory, they can claim full rights as Indian citizens. Full rights as Indian citizens, please mark that, including the right to vote, hold property, apply for government employment, everything. Provided, condition, listen to the condition, provided they establish their native ties on pre-1947 domicile in Jammu and Kashmir. You have to establish their native ties, show that we were earlier a part of this territory, we just moved there after partition, and after that also, before the war, we were a part of this area and somehow we have our roots here. This is to administer that the people are not from Western Pakistan. That's all, right? Why is this done? To administer that Western Pakistan is not coming through this channel or through this loophole, right? Yeah. So there is a distinction from foreign refugees. They're not considered foreign refugees. Refugees from PoK are characterized as displaced persons rather than refugees. What do we call them? Displaced person. There is a concept, the whole concept of displaced person of Indian territory, distinct from the foreign refugees. They're not considered foreign refugees who must go through naturalization under Citizenship Act or seek citizenship via provisions of the Citizenship Amendment Act. That is what foreign refugees do. This is not necessary for the displaced persons, and this is the title we give them and separate rights that come along with it. Right? Exactly. If we talk about the constitutional and legal dimensions, like what are the dimensions that are protecting their status and under which they can claim citizenship here, that is number 1, Article 1 and Schedule 1, establishing entire former princely state of Jammu and Kashmir as integral part of India. Entire structure of it, not the excluding PoK, not just including Indian territory, no. Then the Legislative Assembly seats we've already discussed. Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019 bifurcated state into union territories, and this maintains the reservation of seats also. 2023 Amendment Act, Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, that also provided for nomination of 1 seat in the assembly specifically representing displaced persons from PoK, a separate seat for them representing the entire community. Isn't that something? So we have done a lot of it so that we make them feel welcomed. It is not like they're imposing on us. They should not feel like they're entering it at a place where they're not welcomed. All these rights, all that representation, that is just to send the signal that we are welcoming you. We are more than happy to accommodate you here. You just have to come. You just have to accept it. That's right. You take one step, the rest everything will do. Right? Yeah, that confidence, the people need that confidence when they're coming. That is what we've been trying to provide, right? Yeah. And then we talk about history and demographics of PoK displaced persons. Then we see 1947-48 conflict following the Pakistani tribal invasion and signing the instrument of accession by Maharaja Hari Singh. That is where it all started. Parts of Jammu Kashmir fell under Pakistani control. Mirpur, Muzaffarabad, Gilgit-Baltistan. Over 31,000 families were displaced into Indian-administered J&K and other states. So they are displaced persons, right? Yeah. Subsequent waves came. Further displacement occurred during the 65 and 71 wars. After that also a lot of displacement occurred. But there is a distinction between refugee groups. Why? Because Pakistan-occupied Kashmir DPs, that is displaced persons, are defined as displaced from Indian territory under occupation, always recognized as permanent resident state subjects of J&K with all the rights. They are always recognized as such. Whereas Western Pakistani refugees who migrated from areas like Sialkot, Lahore in 1947, they historically lacked local voting rights and land ownership until August 2019 legal reforms happened, right? So there is a difference between these two categories. You have to understand the difference and see that displaced persons already have those rights. They don't have to establish that through Citizenship Amendment Act or anything. While the refugees, they do have to do that or they are sent back, right? There's a huge difference between that, and this is the demographic of the structure. However, India has taken a lot of steps to make sure that this happens very smoothly. For example, parliamentary resolution was taken up in 1994, the milestone of Indian diplomacy and internal security policy also we call it. How so? What happened on February 22, 1994, both the houses of the parliament, okay, what did they do? They unanimously passed a resolution saying that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part and demanding that Pakistan vacate the areas of J&K under its illegal occupation. We passed this resolution to make sure that we are not going to accept your stance here. For UPSC relevance, I've added a special point here. Understand that frequently this can be cited in mains answer regarding India's stance on Kashmir border issue. Okay, remember this. I've put a note here so that whenever you read this, you remember that this is important. You cite it in your answer whenever you are writing your answer. Okay, remember that. Then coming to rehabilitation and government schemes, financial assistance package here, the central government sanctioned 2,000 crore package offering direct monetary relief up to 5.5 lakh per family to identified displaced persons families. Anybody who identifies themselves as displaced person, that we came from there, they will be given this money, and for that a corpus of 2,000 crore rupees was announced. Under that, domicile and inclusion will also be done. Administrative hurdles in receiving relief package or obtaining domicile certificates and inclusion in the local welfare schemes. This has been the challenge discussed in the governance text, that we see that in the governance context, if we see what are the challenges under implementation, these are the challenges that we are facing, right? Because there are bureaucracy gaps, that they don't get the documentation, they don't get the benefits under the scheme. And if they're not getting those benefits, they're not going to believe us, right? Exactly. Now, if we talk about the strategic and international relations, China-Pakistan economic corridor that is passing through Gilgit-Baltistan, that is the part of PoK, India has officially opposed CPEC on the grounds that it is violating Indian territorial integrity and sovereignty over PoK. We have been consistently saying that it is a part of India, and if you are going through that, you have to take India's permission, not Pakistan's permission. But China built it by taking Pakistan's agreement rather than even considering this with India, right? That is a grave mistake. And administrative status in Pakistan divides the region into two administrative units: Azad Jammu Kashmir, that has a semi-autonomous body, and Gilgit-Baltistan region directly controlled by Islamabad. This is semi-autonomous, right? And this is directly governed by Islamabad through provisional setups. Obviously, India rejects that, but still the system is going on, and Gilgit-Baltistan has the same provisions regarding this. Clear? Yeah. That is the status. That is how the citizenship can be there and how it is administered. I hope you understood that. Yes? All right. If you'd love to discuss more such current affairs news with us, let me tell you that we hold a current affairs session in the morning, 8:30 a.m. live, Monday to Saturday, to discuss the Hindu newspaper, PIB analysis, as well as question practice from the previous session. The class runs on Drishti IAS English channel. As you can see here, you can join the channel and join the class every day, Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. live. All right. And on that note, let me tell you that we are launching our ISGS Foundation course from the Noida Center, English medium batch especially. That will give you structured classes, notes, booklets, answer writing, everything. And along with that, for 3 years, you get prelims test series, current affairs classes, as well as current affairs magazines home delivered. Right? Yeah. You can avail this. You can visit the Noida Center, or you can visit the Drishti IAS website or Drishti IAS Learning app, and you can avail the course from there. And if you face any problem, you can give us a call on 87501 87501. But remember, the batch is starting from 24th August, so you better get it before then. All right? Okay, that is about the information. And regarding our topic, we have a question for you from the topic we have just discussed regarding PoK and the citizens accustomed to that. Read the question, give us your answer in the comment section. Answer quickly. Done? All right. That's about it. That was our segment. That was our topic regarding Indian citizenship and how does it belong to PoK area. All right. I hope you understood that. And if you did understand that, tell me very quickly in the comment section under PoK which area or what is the boundary that has been specified as the line of control. All right. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.